We have some breaking news. The Los Angeles Lakers have just robbed the NBA as they have made a signing that not a lot of people saw coming surrounding one particular player that has fans very fired up. To break down exactly who this is and discuss what it means going forward, as well as a few other updates ahead of what's going to be a very exciting media day. And Rob Pelinka is getting it started on a very intriguing note. But before we get into it all, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable over here on the channel. If you want to continue supporting, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You guys have been an absolute piece of support. Folks, I had a video on this drop late last night, and it is surrounding a player that, not a lot of people were talking about. I was one of the people who were talking about it, and that is Nick Smith Jr. And you can see it right here. Nick Smith Jr. will be signing with the Lakers on a two-way contract. Sources told ESPN the 21-year-old point guard averaged 10 points and 2.4 assists for Charlotte last season. Now, again, last night, about 12 hours ago, maybe 13, 14 hours ago, I had a full video covering why this makes sense and how it would make sense on a two-way contract. And 12 hours, 13, 14 hours later, the contract is official, which is it's pretty cool. So we'll dive into this player some more in this video in case you missed the last one. Now, Nick Smith Jr. is and played a lot of games for the Hornets last year, played 60 games. He started 21 out of those 60 games. And he's a very intriguing player for multiple reasons. Now, again, we saw last year with the Lakers, they made the signing of Jordan Goodwin, who was on a two-way deal. And Jordan Goodwin ended up being one of the best signings they could have made all season. Really one of the best acquisitions. His impact defensively as a rebounder, his unique style of play, all contributed to the Lakers making the playoffs. And he really fell within the trust circle, I guess, of JJ Redick. And the Lakers did have an open two-way spot. And like I mentioned in yesterday's video, this was never going to be an NBA contract, at least for the Lakers. Now, there were some rumblings around the league and reports that Nick Smith Jr. should be able to get an NBA contract, not a two-way, because of the fact that, again, he's a former first-round pick. He had an improved year last year. If you just look at it on paper, he put up 10 points a game in his rookie year, I believe between 6 and 7 points a game. However, his three-point percentage went down. His rookie season is about 43. Last year was 34. But folks, this one is super, super cool. And you can see the official statement here. So they signed Nick Smith Jr. to a two-way contract. In a corresponding move, the team has waived center Kyler Kelly, who we'll dive into in a little bit here as well. But if you're unfamiliar with the, the tangibles of Nick Smith Jr., he's 6'2", 185 pounds, appeared in 60 games and started 27 of them, which is pretty cool. He shot about 34% from three, but he averaged almost 6 threes attempted per game. And you can see there some of his college stats as well. Collegiately, Smith Jr. played one season in his home state at the University of Arkansas, where he averaged 12 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. So he's going to be wearing number 20. There's a real chance here where this guy makes an impact at the NBA level. Now, of course, it is a two-way, so we can go back and forth between the G League and the NBA. He is basically and I did some research, kind of got some thoughts of some Charlotte fans. There were some Reddit threads about Nick Smith Jr., why he was waived. He wasn't necessarily waived by the Hornets because of his lack of production on the court at the NBA level, which is usually the case for a lot of players who are, waived. It's because they had a ton of backcourt depth, the Charlotte Hornets, that is. And, they had Man, they have LaMelo Ball, they have a lot of other guys as well. Some of the most recent, draft picks. So they're not going to have a ton of space for Nick Smith Jr. to play. So they obviously wanted to clear the spot. For the Lakers, they don't really have an abundance of backcourt depth. They have Austin Reaves, right? And we will dive into who the Lakers have. But again, Austin Reaves, Luka Doncic, those are the starters. But the backups, you have Gabe Vincent, you have Bronny James. And I mentioned it yesterday, would they want to take minutes away from Bronny James? I don't think it's even going to be that complicated because they don't really play the same. They play the same position. Now, the signing says he's a point guard. He's really a shooting guard, kind of a combo guard. But Bronny James is more of a defender. Nick Smith Jr. is more of a Jordan Clarkson type who will come off the bench, shoot a ton of threes, hit some of them, and hit them at a pretty high clip. But again, it's all about the volume for Nick Smith Jr. He's not super efficient. He was his rookie year. He's literally just a spark plug off the bench. And that's something the Lakers don't have. Now, they might have it in Jake LaRavia. It's one of the reasons they brought him in. But that's obviously not a surefire guarantee. You can see this here from Michael Scotto. Again, he's only 21 years old, who showed a lot of flashes of potential. And that's one of the big difference makers here for this signing compared to a lot of the other team signings regarding two-way contracts. The Lakers clearly see and have a decent track record of signing guys to two-way deals who actually have impact at the NBA level, or rather have an impact at the NBA level, sorry. And Nick Smith Jr. is, I think, going to be one of those guys because they have a clear open spot on the Lakers team for him. Not necessarily right away at the NBA level, but I could see a real world here after, early in the season where, let's say, the bench isn't producing enough. Gabe Vincent's not scoring the ball, and he's not supposed to be scoring the ball, right? He's not meant to necessarily, but at the same time, They need some sort of bench scoring. It's a big issue still, which is why you have Marcus Smart off the bench, of course, as well. I'm kind of assuming that Marcus Smart is going to be starting and Rui is going to be on the bench to start the year. But regardless of what happens with that, maybe Rui could be that spark plug. Having a combo guard who can go up, just give you some electrifying offense, I think could fit well into this scheme. Now, the downsides, he's not a very good defender. Do the Lakers need another small guard? Maybe not. He's only 6'2". But at the same time, again, you can't really go wrong with any two-way deal, especially for a former first-round pick. And now the Lakers can go back and pretend that they picked Nick Smith Jr. in the 2023 draft instead of who we all know they did pick. Well, I won't mention his name, but we'll get that out of the way. But Nick Smith Jr. can pretend to be now their 2023 first-round pick, which will be maybe a good consolation prize for us Lakers fans. And at the end of the day, 21 years old. At the very least, it ends up being a depth piece. But at the best, very best, he develops into a very efficient combo guard. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. I think it's a robbery. I mean, getting a former first-round pick is it's always hard to do anyways, and doing it with a two-way deal is even better than I could have ever imagined. Now, let's dive into a few other things. Today's obviously media day here, so. Also, quick note, actually, before we wrap up, Kyler Kelly, he's the center. He's gone as well, and there was some thoughts about him potentially being able to get some sort of, playing time with the Lakers and all these different things. I've covered him on the channel. I'm curious to see if they try to bring him back eventually, but for now, he's going to be the one who's gone in order to, make space for him. He's waived. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked up by another team. Showed some decent flashes of potential, but again, we're at a point now in the season where the preseason is about a week away. I believe October 4th, something like that. The preseason's October 6th, I believe. It's a week away. You got to make some moves to make those things happen. But speaking of, I guess, a week away, some more moves were made ahead of training camp and ahead of media day today. So let's go through them here. Shooting guard Tevion Jones and power forward Eric Dixon are now both off the club's training camp roster, but as Exhibit 10 signings will likely join the Lakers' G League affiliate. So they made some more cuts. And again, today is media day. We'll have another video covering it later today as news comes out, whether that be DeAndre Ayton speaking, maybe LeBron James sharing some insight into his future of retirement potentially. A ton of things there. Of course, we'll probably hear from JJ Redick and Rob Pelinka as well, though maybe not because we already heard from them recently. Some more moves here. You can see Eric Dixon was one of the guys that the Lakers signed after the draft. He went undrafted as a guard, a fifth year. But they also signed Anton Watson and Nate Williams to replace them in training camp. A couple guys to keep an eye out on. Could be pretty interesting. At the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be too crazy, but you never really know, especially with how good this Lakers team has been recently with developing. So at the end of the day, folks, the Lakers got a former first-round pick. They made some more cuts to the training camp roster, and with media day just around the corner, meaning hours away, this is the place to be every single day for daily Lakers news. So are you excited about the Nick Smith Jr. signing? I covered it in yesterday's video, so feel free to check that one out as well after, this one's about to be done now, but check that one out if you want some more in depth and also some conversation about it before he was officially a Laker. I wasn't biased. I actually do think he's going to be a great piece. They got it done. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.